Rain fell heavy that night, the kind that wash away tracks. And truths. Corporal David Cole stood alone at the edge of Pier 9, medal in hand, gun by his side. The sea whispered secrets into fog, and the sound of his heartbeat drowned out everything else. He checked his watch. 10:59 p.m. Then footsteps. A shadow emerged from the mist. Tall, broad shoulders. And a voice David hadn't heard since the desert. Didn't think you'd actually come, soldier. David froze. That voice, Captain Mason Green. Alive. David raised his gun. You should be dead. Mason smirked. Dead men don't get promoted. Mason stepped closer. Hands raised. You don't understand, Cole. That operation was never meant to go public. We were pawns in something bigger. David's voice cracked with anger. You left us to die. Mason sighed. I saved you. You think that explosion was an accident? I called it in. You were never supposed to make it out. David's grip tightened. So that's your confession? Mason shook his head slowly. No, soldier. It's your warning. He reached into his coat and dropped the USB drive into the puddle between them. Everything you need to know is on that. David didn't move. Lightning flashed, and for a moment he saw it. A red laser beam. But this time, it wasn't on him. It was on Mason. Uff! A silent shot cut through the rain. Mason stumbled backward, clutching his chest. David dove for cover. Another shot rang out, splintering the wooden pier. He crawled to Mason, whose blood mixed with the rain. Who did this? David shouted. Mason coughed, barely breathing. They found out about Reed. David's heart pounded. What about General Reed? But Mason's eyes faded before he could finish. David grabbed the USB, ran to his truck, and sped off into the storm. He drove until the city lights disappeared, until only trees surrounded him. He pulled over at an abandoned gas station, plugged the USB into his laptop, and hit play. A series of classified memos appeared. And there was again Operation Nightfall. The final page contained a list of authorizations, each signed by one person. General Elena Reed. David's breath caught. His mentor, the woman who once called him the son I never had. She was the one who covered it all up. David felt the weight of betrayal heavier than any weapon he'd carried. He'd fought for a country that buried its heroes and trusted a leader who buried the truth. He looked down at the Medal of Honor, sitting on his dashboard. It no longer looked like pride, it looked like proof. He whispered, You taught me to fight for justice, General. Guess it's time you see what that really means. The next morning, the Pentagon buzzed with whispers. General Reed walked into her office, calm as ever, until she saw the envelope on her desk. No return address, just her name in black ink. She opened it. Inside was a photo, her and Mason, standing beside a crate marked Nightfall, evidence, and beneath it a note, Justice doesn't retire. Her phone rang immediately. Unknown number. She answered. General Reed speaking. A voice replied, deep, steady. You told me to stop digging. She froze. David, but before she could speak again, the line went dead. Hours later, news broke across every major network. A leaked report exposing corruption within a classified military operation. The documents named multiple high-ranking officials, and one in particular, General Elena Reed. But before investigators could reach her office, she was gone. Her car was found near the edge of a forest. Engine running, door open, no trace of her inside. David watched the news from a motel room, silent. He had done what he came to do, but something didn't sit right. He replayed Mason's last words in his head. They found out about Reed. Found out what? He opened the USB again. At the very bottom of the drive was a locked folder titled Phase 2. He entered every password he could think of, his name, his unit number, the operation date. Nothing worked. Then he tried one more. Metal. The folder unlocked. Inside was a single video file. Timestamped 3 days after the explosion. The footage showed General Reed standing in a secure facility, speaking to someone off camera. Her words sent a chill through David's spine. Phase 2 is confirmed. If Cole ever resurfaces, activate the next step. He knows too much. The camera panned slightly, revealing the person she was talking to. David's jaw dropped. It wasn't Mason. It wasn't a stranger. It was his own father. The man he buried 10 years ago. The man who raised him to believe in honor was alive. And part of the cover-up. The screen glitched and cut to black. David sat there, motionless, whispering, "Dad?" Lightning flashed outside the window, and the reflection of the glass. A figure moved behind him, because sometimes the truth doesn't just set you free, it follows you home.